She was so close. Close enough that I could feel the heat of her. Smell her perfume, something expensive and dark. My heart hammered. This was inappropriate. She was my boss. My extremely dangerous criminal boss who could probably have me killed with a phone call. But she was looking at me like I was something precious. Like I mattered. The moment stretched. Thinned. Almost broke into something neither of us could take back. Then her phone rang. The spell shattered. Adriana stepped back, answered. Her face went cold. When? How many? Lock it down. I'm on my way. Welcome back to Daydream BL and GL channel. Thanks for watching my stories, and if you haven't subscribed, please do and comment where you are watching from. She hung up. Looked at me with something like regret. There's been an incident at one of our warehouses. Possible attack. I need to go. I'm coming with you. Maya, it could be dangerous. That's literally my job. She smiled. Sad but real. Get dressed. We leave in 5 minutes. I ran to my room, threw on clothes, grabbed the phone Marco had given me for emergencies. Met Adriana and half a dozen guards in the garage. Marco's face was grim. 3 dead. Warehouse torched. DeLuca's signature all over it. He's escalating, Adriana said, her voice flat and cold. The warmth from the library was gone. This was the crime boss. The woman who controlled an empire. He wants a war. Let's give him one. We drove through the night. The warehouse was on the outskirts of the city, surrounded by chain-link fence and devastation. Fire trucks were leaving. Police were conspicuously absent. The building was a burnt shell. 3 bodies covered with tarps. Marco's people were securing the perimeter, weapons visible now. No more pretending at civility. Adriana walked through the destruction with the calm of someone surveying a mildly annoying inconvenience, not a triple homicide and arson. Casualties. 3 of ours. 2 guards, 1 warehouse manager. Families have been notified. DeLuca's people left a message. Marco held up a piece of paper, burnt at the edges. I couldn't read it from where I stood, but I saw Adriana's jaw tighten. He wants me to meet him. Alone. Tomorrow at midnight. Says if I don't show, he'll kill 10 of my people for every hour I'm late. It's a trap, boss. Of course it's a trap. But I can't let him massacre my people. We go. But not alone. Full tactical support. Miss Brooks, you stay close to me at all times. Yes, ma'am. We spent 2 hours at the scene. Adriana talked to families of the deceased. Promised them justice and compensation. Held crying children and made vows I suspected she'd keep with extreme prejudice. This was a different side of her. Not cold. Not controlled. Genuinely hurt by the loss of her people. On the drive back, dawn was breaking. Adriana stared out the window, face illuminated by pink and gold light. You should leave, she said quietly. Before tomorrow. Before this gets worse. I'll pay out your full contract. Give you enough to start over. You can disappear. Be safe. I'm not leaving. Maya, tomorrow is going to be bad. Possibly catastrophic. People will die. Maybe me. Probably you if you're standing next to me. Then I'll die doing my job. She turned to look at me. Why? You barely know me. This isn't your fight. Maybe not. But you gave me a chance when no one else would. You saw past my lies and kept me anyway. You treat me like I matter. Like I'm capable of something more than failure. I'm not abandoning you now. Her hand found mine in the darkness of the car. Squeezed once. Then let go. You're either incredibly brave or incredibly stupid. I contain multitudes. She almost smiled. Back at the mansion, she dismissed me to rest. But rest was impossible. Tomorrow night, we were walking into an ambush. Tomorrow night, I might die. Or watch her die. Or both. I should have been panicking. Should have been packing my bags and running. Instead, I was planning. Thinking. Trying to figure out how to keep Adriana alive when everything was designed to kill her. My phone buzzed. Charlie. Charlie, I saw the news. Warehouse fire. 3 dead. Please tell me you weren't there. Me, I was there. Charlie, MY. Me, tomorrow is going to be worse. There's a meeting with the rival who's trying to kill her. It's definitely a trap. Charlie, so don't go. Me, I have to. It's my job. Charlie, your job is supposed to be boring corporate security, not gang warfare. Me, I may have undersold the danger level. Charlie, you think? Maya, please. Please just leave. Come home. I miss you and I don't want you to die. Me, I miss you too. But I can't leave her. Not now. If something happens to me, my manga collection is yours. And tell my mom I'm sorry for being such a disaster. Charlie, don't talk like that. You're going to be fine. You're going to survive because you're too anxious to die. Anxiety keeps you alert. Me, that's actually probably true. Charlie, promise me you'll be careful. Promise me you'll come back. Me, I promise I'll try. It wasn't the promise she wanted, but it was the only one I could make. I tried to sleep. Failed. At 3 a.m., I gave up and went to the gym. Practiced the moves Marco had taught me. They felt more natural now. My body was learning even if my brain still questioned everything. Can't sleep either? Adriana stood in the doorway. Still in pajamas. Hair down. She looked younger like this. Less dangerous. More human. Too much energy. She stepped onto the mat. Show me what Marco taught you. You want to spar with me? I'll hurt you. By accident. I'm very bad at this. Humor me. We moved through the forms. Slowly at first. Then faster. She was good. Really good. Moved like water, flowing around my clumsy attempts. But I was learning. Getting better. Actually managed to block her twice. You're improving, she said, slightly breathless. Marco's right. You have instincts. We were close again. Too close. Both breathing hard from exertion. The air between us felt electric. Adriana. Don't say whatever you're about to say. Tomorrow we might die. Let's not complicate things. Things are already complicated. They'll get more complicated if we acknowledge them. She was right. But I was tired of being careful. Tired of pretending I didn't feel what I felt. I think you're amazing, I said. Terrifying and dangerous and probably going to get me killed. But amazing. I needed you to know that. Before tomorrow. In case. She kissed me. It wasn't gentle. Wasn't tentative. It was desperate and fierce and tasted like fear and want and all the things we weren't supposed to feel. Her hands in my hair. My back against the wall. The world narrowing down to just this moment, just this feeling, just us. Then she pulled away, breathing hard, eyes wild. We can't. This is a mistake. Feels like the first thing I've done right in years. Maya, people around me die. Everyone I care about dies. I can't, I won't. Too late. I'm already here. Already care. Already in too deep. She pressed her forehead against mine. You're going to break my heart. You're going to break mine first. Probably. We stood there, wrapped around each other, holding on like we were drowning and each other was air. Stay with me tonight, she whispered. Not for anything except company. I don't want to be alone. Not tonight. We went to her room. Bigger than mine. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. A bed that could fit 6 people. We lay there in the darkness, not touching but close enough to feel each other's warmth. Tell me something real, she said. Something you've never told anyone. I've never told anyone I'm terrified all the time. Every moment of every day. I just got really good at pretending I'm not. Me too, she whispered. Every decision could get someone killed. Every choice could be wrong. The weight of it never goes away. Maybe we can be terrified together. Her hand found mine in the darkness. I'd like that. We talked until sunrise. About everything. About nothing. About the lives we might have lived if we were different people in different circumstances. About her father and my student loans and the way fear tastes and the particular loneliness of never quite fitting anywhere. When dawn came, reality returned. She had calls to make. Plans to finalize. A war to prepare for. Tonight, she said as we dressed. Stay close. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, get out. Don't wait. Don't try to save me. Just run. I'm not leaving you. Maya. I'm not leaving you. Whatever happens, we face it together. She looked at me with something that might have been love or might have been grief or might have been both. Okay. Together. The day passed in a blur of preparation. Marco briefed the team. Weapons were distributed. Routes were planned. Contingencies established. Everyone moved with the efficiency of people who'd done this before. People who knew some of them wouldn't come back. I was given a gun. Held it like it was a snake. Have you ever fired one? Marco asked. No. Well, today's not the day to learn. But keep it anyway. Point and shoot if you absolutely have to. Try not to hit our people. Inspiring confidence as always, Marco. I'm not here to inspire confidence. I'm here to keep you alive long enough to keep her alive. Evening came too fast. We dressed in tactical gear. Kevlar vests. Earpieces. Weapons. I looked like I was playing dress-up in someone else's action movie. Adriana looked like war personified. All in black. Hair pulled back. Face set in hard lines. This was the woman who'd taken over a crime family at 19. Who'd held power through violence and will and refusal to break. Remember the plan, she said to the assembled team. Marco's group enters first. Secures the perimeter. Luca's team takes high ground. Sophia manages communications. Miss Brooks stays with me. If this goes badly, priority 1 is getting me out. Priority 2 is getting everyone else out. Priority 3 is making DeLuca regret this meeting. Everyone nodded. Checked weapons. Said goodbye to whatever gods they believed in. We drove in a convoy. 3 cars. Heavily armed. Marco drove the lead car. We were in the middle. Luca brought up the rear. The meeting location was an abandoned factory in the industrial district. Neutral ground. Which meant nobody's ground. Which meant extremely dangerous ground. We arrived at 11:45. 15 minutes early. Marco's team swept the building. Found exactly what we expected. DeLuca's people already positioned. Snipers on the roof. Guards at every exit. We were walking into a killing box. He's not even pretending this isn't an ambush, Marco reported through the earpiece. Neither are we, Adriana replied. Everyone in position. On my signal. We walked toward the factory entrance. Adriana in front. Me slightly behind and to her left. Marco flanking right. The door opened to reveal a cavernous space lit by harsh industrial lights. In the center, Vincenzo DeLuca waited with a dozen of his people. He was older than I expected. 50s maybe. Handsome in that way powerful men often were. Expensive suit. Cold smile. Eyes that calculated the cost of everything including human lives. Adriana. So good of you to come. You killed my people, Vincenzo. Burned my property. Demanded this meeting. Here I am. Straight to business. No pleasantries. This is why I like you. You don't waste time. What do you want? Simple. Retire. Step down. Hand over your territories. Do this, and I'll let you live. You can disappear. Start over. Maybe find happiness. His eyes flicked to me. Maybe even keep your pretty new pet. The way he said pet made my skin crawl. Adriana's voice was ice. No. No? Just like that? You're not even going to consider my generous offer. There's nothing to consider. This empire is mine. My father's before me. My grandfather's before him. I don't hand it over because you got greedy. DeLuca's smile faded. Then you die here. Tonight. Along with everyone you brought. You're welcome to try. The tension in the room could have cut steel. Every person on both sides had their hand near a weapon. One wrong move and this became a massacre. Then I felt it. That same anxiety spike from the restaurant. That feeling of wrong. The lights. They were positioned wrong. Angled down instead of across. Creating shadows in strange places. Places where people could hide. Adriana, I whispered. The lights. She didn't question. Didn't hesitate. Down. We dropped as gunfire erupted from the shadows above. DeLuca's people who weren't at the meeting. Who'd been hidden in the rafters. Waiting. Chaos exploded. Our people returned fire. Glass shattered. Metal pinged. Someone screamed. Marco dragged us behind a concrete pillar while his team engaged. Extraction. Now. Marco shouted into his comm. But the exits were blocked. DeLuca's people had us surrounded. This wasn't just an ambush. It was an execution. Adriana pulled her gun, fired at attackers with calm precision. Like this was just another day. Just another attempt on her life. I crouched behind her, my own gun shaking in my hands, trying not to be completely useless. North exit. Luca's voice through the comm secured. Move now. Marco laid down covering fire while we ran. My legs felt like jelly. My heart was trying to escape my chest. Bullets sparked off concrete. Someone behind us went down. I didn't look back. We made it to the north exit. Luca and his team were there, holding the door. We pushed through into the night air. The cars were gone. Destroyed. Burning. Plan B. Marco shouted. On foot. Industrial Park, 2 blocks east. We ran. Through alleys. Between buildings. The sound of pursuit behind us. More gunfire. The night lit up by muzzle flashes. I stayed glued to Adriana's side. When she turned left, I turned left. When she jumped, I jumped. My lungs burned. My legs screamed. But I kept moving because stopping meant dying. We burst out onto a main street. A car screeched to a stop in front of us. For one terrible moment, I thought it was DeLuca's people. Then Isabella leaned out the window. Get in. Now. We piled into the car. Isabella hit the gas before the doors were even closed. Behind us, DeLuca's people emerged from the alley. Too late. How did you know? Adriana gasped. Vincent heard chatter. DeLuca was planning a full assault. We came as backup. Isabella's eyes met mine in the rearview mirror. Good instincts again, new girl. You saved her life. Again. Smash that like button. Comment Maya the Legend if you think she's secretly a genius, or Maya the Disaster if you think she's just incredibly lucky. And subscribe because this war is far from over. I couldn't respond. My whole body was shaking. Adrenaline crash hitting hard. I'd almost died. We'd all almost died. 3 of our people hadn't made it out. Adriana's hand found mine. Squeezed. Her face was pale but composed. Thank you, she whispered. The lights. I wouldn't have seen it. That's twice I've gotten lucky. That's twice you've saved my life. We made it back to the mansion. The place was on lockdown. Every guard mobilized. Every entrance fortified. DeLuca had declared total war, and we'd barely survived the opening salvo. Marco gathered the team in the security center. His face was grim. We lost 3 people tonight. Rodriguez, Chin, and Murphy. They died protecting us. Protecting her. We honor them by surviving. By winning this war. Everyone nodded. Grim determination replacing fear. Adriana stood. DeLuca showed his hand tonight. He's escalating faster than expected. He knows we're vulnerable right now. He'll push his advantage. So we push back. Harder. Sophia, I want every asset we have mobilized. Marco, double the guard rotation. Luca, reach out to our allies. Everyone who owes us. Call in every favor. And somebody find out how he knew we'd be there tonight. We have a leak. A leak. Someone on the inside feeding information to the enemy. Someone we trusted was betraying us. The meeting dispersed. Adriana looked exhausted. The armor was cracking. She was running on fumes and force of will. You should rest, I said. Can't. Too much to do. DeLuca will strike again soon. We need to be ready. You can't fight if you collapse from exhaustion. She looked at me. Really looked at me. When did you get so bossy? When you started making terrible self-care decisions. She almost smiled. Come on. Let's at least sit down. We went to her room. She collapsed on the bed, still fully dressed. I sat beside her. I should have seen it coming, she said quietly. The ambush. I was so focused on DeLuca, I didn't think about the setup. People died because I missed it. People died because DeLuca is a murderous psychopath. Not because you missed something. And we survived because you listened when I said something felt wrong. You trusted me even though you had no reason to. I always have reason to trust you. Her hand found mine again. You're the only person in my life who has nothing to gain by lying to me. I have everything to gain. You pay me absurd amounts of money. You'd protect me even without the money. I know you would. She was right. Somewhere in the past few days, this had stopped being about money. About survival. It had become about her. About protecting someone who'd seen past my lies and failures and found something worth keeping. Yeah, I admitted. I would. She pulled me down beside her. We lay there, still dressed, still wired from the night's chaos, but together. I'm scared, she whispered. Me too. If DeLuca wins. He won't. You can't know that. I can't. But I can believe it. And I can do everything possible to make sure he doesn't. I turned to face her. You're not alone in this, Adriana. You have Marco and Sophia and Luca and Isabella and an entire army of people who believe in you. And you have me. Anxious, incompetent, accidentally lucky me. But I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. She kissed me again. Softer this time. Less desperate. More like a promise. Stay, she said. Really stay. Not just tonight. However this ends. Stay with me. Okay. That's it? Just okay. What else is there to say? I'm in. Completely. Probably stupidly. But in. She pulled me closer, and we lay there in the darkness, holding each other against the world and whatever morning would bring. I should have been terrified. Should have been running. Should have been questioning every choice that led to this moment. Instead, I felt right. Like all the chaos and fear and violence had led me exactly where I needed to be. In the morning, we'd face DeLuca again. Face his army and his ambitions and his plans to destroy everything Adriana had built. But tonight, we had this. This moment. This fragile, impossible thing growing between us. And maybe, just maybe, that would be enough to survive what was coming. My phone buzzed. Marco. Meeting in 10. We found the leak. Adriana's whole body tensed. Who? You need to see this yourself, boss. We got up, got dressed, went to face whatever fresh betrayal awaited us. The security center was packed. Every guard. Every inner circle member. All waiting with expressions ranging from anger to grief. Marco stood at the center, laptop open, face carved from stone. Show me, Adriana said. Marco turned the screen. Security footage from the warehouse meeting. But not from our cameras. From DeLuca's perspective. Someone had given him our entire security setup. Our positions. Our backup plans. Everything. The feed came from inside the mansion, Marco said. Uploaded 2 hours before the meeting. I traced it back to me. We all turned. Tommy stood in the doorway, face pale, hands raised. He looked like he was about to throw up or cry or both. Tommy? Adriana's voice was dangerously quiet. Explain. They have my sister. DeLuca's people. They took her 3 weeks ago. Said they'd kill her if I didn't help them. I didn't want to, boss, I swear. But she's my baby sister. She's only 16. I couldn't let them hurt her. Comment, save Tommy if you think Adriana should show mercy, or no mercy, if betrayal should mean death no matter what. Hit that subscribe button to see what Adriana decides, because this choice is going to define who she really is. And like this video. The room erupted. Guard shouting. Calling for his immediate execution. Marco had his gun out. Sophia looked like she wanted to tear Tommy apart with her bare hands. Adriana held up a hand. Silence fell instantly. Where is she? Tommy's voice broke. I don't know. They move her every few days. They send me photos to prove she's alive. The last one came yesterday. Please, boss. I know I deserve to die. But please help her first. She's innocent. She doesn't deserve this. Adriana studied him for a long moment. I couldn't read her expression. Cold calculation? Anger? Sympathy? Maybe all three. Marco. Find the sister. Use every resource we have. Luca. Start tracking DeLuca's properties. Safe houses. Warehouses. Anywhere he might keep a hostage. Sophia. Get our people on the streets. Someone's seen something. Boss, Marco said carefully. What about Tommy? House arrest. Guarded room. He doesn't leave. Doesn't contact anyone. But we don't kill him. Not until we know his sister's fate. Boss, Sophia started. I said what I said. DeLuca used his family against him. That's on DeLuca. We get the girl back. Then we deal with the rest. It was mercy. Practical mercy, maybe. But mercy nonetheless. Tommy collapsed in relief, tears streaming down his face. Thank you, boss. Thank you. I'll do anything. Anything to make this right. You'll start by telling us everything you told DeLuca. Every detail. Every conversation. Every piece of information. Marco, get him secured and debriefed. The meeting dispersed. Adriana walked back to her office like she was carrying the weight of the world. I followed, because that's what I did now. Followed her into danger and darkness and impossible decisions. She poured herself a drink. Bourbon. Expensive. Drank it in one swallow. You think I'm weak, she said. For not killing him. I think you're human. He made an impossible choice. You showed him mercy. That's not weakness. My father would have killed him immediately. Made an example. Sent a message that betrayal means death no matter the reason. You're not your father. She poured another drink. Didn't drink it. Just stared at the amber liquid. If we don't find that girl, DeLuca wins. He proves that he can make my people betray me. That family is a weakness he can exploit. Others will try the same thing. So we find her. We bring her home. We show everyone that you protect your people. That loyalty goes both ways. She finally looked at me. When did you become wise? I'm not wise. I'm just anxious enough to overthink everything and occasionally stumble on something useful. She almost smiled. Then her phone rang. Marco. We found her. Old textile factory on the south side. Lightly guarded. They weren't expecting us to move this fast. How many guards? Surveillance shows 6. Maybe more inside. Assemble a team. We leave in 20 minutes. She hung up. Started changing into tactical gear. I did the same. You don't have to come, she said. This is going to be violent. More violent than the warehouse. Where you go, I go. Remember? Stubborn. Committed. We loaded into SUVs. Marco's tactical team. Luca's backup. Sophia coordinating from base. Isabella showed up with Vincent and 3 of her people. Heard you were rescuing a kid, Isabella said. Figured you could use extra guns. You don't owe me this. Yeah, I do. You'd do the same for me. Besides, DeLuca's getting too bold. Needs to be reminded that he's not the only one who can play dirty. The textile factory loomed against the night sky. Broken windows. Rusted metal. The kind of place where bad things happened and nobody asked questions. Marco's team moved in first. Silent. Professional. I watched them work with something like awe. This was what actual bodyguards looked like. What I was supposed to be. 2 guards down, Marco's voice through the comm entering main floor. We waited. Every second felt like an hour. My anxiety was through the roof, but in a useful way. Every sound made me alert. Every shadow got evaluated as threat or not threat. Found her. She's alive. Scared but alive. 3 more guards inside. Engaging. Gunfire. Shouting. Then silence. Clear. Bringing her out. Marco emerged carrying a teenage girl wrapped in a blanket. She was crying. Bruised. Terrified. But alive. Get her to the medic, Adriana ordered. Full medical check. Food. Water. Whatever she needs. And someone call Tommy. Tell him his sister is safe. The girl looked up at Adriana. Thank you. Thank you. I thought I was going to die here. Adriana's expression softened. You're safe now. No one will hurt you again. You have my word. We got the girl to a secure location. Medical team checked her over. Minor injuries. Dehydration. Trauma. But she'd survive. Tommy broke down when he saw her. Hugged her like he'd never let go. Kept apologizing to everyone. To Adriana especially. I'll accept whatever punishment you decide, he said. But thank you. Thank you for saving her. Adriana watched them for a moment. You betrayed us. Endangered all of us. People died because of the information you gave DeLuca. Tommy's face crumpled. I know. I'm so sorry. But you did it to protect family. I understand that. So here's what happens. You're out. You and your sister disappear. New city. New names. New lives. I'll arrange it. Fund it. But you never come back. Never contact anyone from this life. You're ghosts. Understood. Tommy stared at her like she'd just performed a miracle. You're letting us go? I'm giving you the chance my father never got. The chance to walk away. To be something other than this. Take it. Don't waste it. They left that night, spirited away by Sophia's people to a new life somewhere safe. Away from DeLuca and mob wars and impossible choices. Back at the mansion, Adriana collapsed in her office chair. You did a good thing, I said. I showed weakness. Marco's furious. Half the guards think I've gone soft. You showed humanity. There's a difference. In this world, they're the same thing. Then maybe this world needs to change. She looked at me like I'd said something profound. Or possibly insane. You really believe that? That this life can be something other than violence and death and endless war? I believe you can make it that. If you want to. And if I don't want to? If I like the power and the fear and the control, then I'll stay anyway. Because I'm apparently a disaster who makes terrible life choices. She laughed. Real laughter. The kind that made her whole face light up. You're definitely a disaster. But you're my disaster. Her phone rang. Marco again. His voice was urgent. Boss, we have a situation. DeLuca just hit 3 of our locations simultaneously. Clubs. Shipping yard. The casino. He's burning everything. Adriana's face went cold. Casualties. Heavy. At least a dozen dead. More wounded. He's sending a message. Message received. She stood, and I watched the transformation. The soft humanity disappearing. The Ice Queen returning. Gather everyone. Family meeting. 1 hour. It's time to end this. The family meeting was every major player in Adriana's organization. Captains. Lieutenants. Business managers. People I'd seen around but never been formally introduced to. They all looked at me with curiosity. The new bodyguard who kept accidentally saving the boss. Adriana stood at the head of the massive conference table. DeLuca has escalated beyond reason. He's not trying to take territory anymore. He's trying to destroy us completely. So we respond in kind. We hit him everywhere. All at once. Every business. Every asset. Every person who works for him. We burn his empire to the ground. One of the captains, an older man named Carmine, spoke up. Boss, that's total war. The other families will get involved. The cops will get involved. It'll be chaos. It's already chaos. DeLuca made sure of that. We either finish this now or we die slowly. I vote we finish it. Around the table, heads nodded. Grim acceptance. This was the world they'd chosen. Violence met with violence. Blood with blood. The planning took hours. Every detail mapped out. Who would hit where? When? How? It was terrifying in its precision. These people were professionals at organized crime, and it showed. I stood in the corner, trying to understand my role in all this. I was supposed to protect Adriana. But from what I was hearing, she'd be right in the middle of the worst of it. Leading the assault on DeLuca's main compound herself. Boss, Marco said. You should stay here. Let us handle the compound. No. This is my war. I end it myself. It's suicide. The compound is a fortress. We'll lose half our people just getting through the gates. Then we lose them. But DeLuca dies. Tonight. I couldn't stay quiet anymore. There has to be another way. Something that doesn't involve a frontal assault on a fortress. Everyone looked at me. Some amused. Some annoyed. Some curious. Miss Brooks, Carmine said. This is how these things are done. You're new. You don't understand. I understand that smart beats strong. Unexpected beats prepared. You're all thinking like soldiers. Military assault. But what about thinking like criminals? Like the sneaky, underhanded criminals you all are. Adriana's eyebrow raised. I'm listening. My mouth was moving faster than my brain. Again. But ideas were forming. Chaotic, anxiety-driven ideas that just might work. DeLuca expects an assault. Expects violence. So, what if we give him something else? What if we make him come to us? How? Sophia asked. Tommy. DeLuca thinks Tommy is still working for him. Thinks he still has leverage. We use that. Have Tommy send a message. Tell DeLuca that Adriana is vulnerable. That the family is fracturing. That now's the time to strike. Make him think he can end this easily. Marco was nodding slowly. We turn his trap into our trap. Exactly. We fortify the mansion. Turn it into the fortress. Let him bring his people here where we control everything. Where we have home advantage. The room was silent. Everyone thinking. Calculating. Finally, Adriana spoke. It's risky. If it fails, we lose everything. He'll have us surrounded in our own home. If the frontal assault fails, you lose everything anyway. Plus a lot more people die. She studied me with those sharp, calculating eyes. Then smiled. You know what? Why not? Let's try it your way. Marco, can we fortify in time? If we start now? Maybe. It'll be tight. Then we start now. Sophia, work with Tommy on the message. Make it convincing. Carmine, I want every defensive measure we have activated. Luca, recall everyone. Every guard. Every soldier. Everyone comes home. We make this place impenetrable. The room exploded into action. People moving. Shouting orders. Making calls. Organized chaos that somehow worked. Adriana pulled me aside. You just planned a mob war. How does that feel? Did the fake bodyguard with zero training just outsmart an entire room of crime lords? If you're as shook as I am right now, hit that like button. Comment the riskiest plan you've ever come up with that somehow actually worked. I want to hear your chaotic energy stories. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you even doing? Subscribe now because the final battle is about to be insane and you do not want to miss what happens when this plan either saves everyone or gets them all killed. Terrifying. Did I just get a bunch of people killed? You might have saved them. Or doomed us all. We'll find out soon. The next 12 hours were insane. The mansion transformed into a military compound. Windows reinforced. Doors barricaded. Weapons distributed. Defensive positions established. Every inch of property covered by overlapping fields of fire. Tommy sent his message. Made it desperate. Convincing. Said Adriana was weak. Distracted by her new bodyguard. That the family was questioning her leadership. That 3 captains were ready to flip. That DeLuca could end this with one decisive strike. We waited for his response. It came at sunset. A text to Tommy's phone, tonight. 2 a.m. Bring everyone. End this. He was coming. With everything he had. Walking right into our trap. If it worked. If it didn't, we'd all be dead by sunrise. Everyone get some rest, Adriana ordered. 2 hours. Eat. Sleep. Prepare. At midnight, we go to full alert. No one sleeps after that. I couldn't imagine sleeping. My anxiety was at 11 out of 10. But Adriana pulled me to her room, forced me to lie down, held me until exhaustion won out over fear. I woke to alarms. Midnight. Time to prepare. Everyone moved to positions. Guards on every floor. Snipers on the roof. Heavy weapons at choke points. Marco coordinated from the security center. Sophia managed communications. Luca led the mobile response team. And Adriana stood in the main hall, visible through the front windows, apparently alone. Apparently vulnerable. Perfect bait. I stood with her. Because of course I did. You should be in the safe room, she said. You should be in the safe room. It's my house. My war. And you're my person. So here I am. She took my hand. Squeezed. If this goes bad, it won't. But if it does, run. There's a tunnel from the basement. Leads to the service road. Car waiting. Keys in the ignition. You run and you don't look back. I'm not. Promise me, Maya. If I die, you live. You survive. You get out and you have the life I never could. Promise me. Her eyes were so intense. So desperate. This wasn't a request. It was a plea. I promise. She kissed me. Soft and sweet and tasting like goodbye. Then the first explosion hit. The gates. DeLuca's people had blown the front gates. Vehicles poured through. Armed men. Lots of them. More than we'd expected. He'd brought his entire organization. Positions. Marco's voice through the comms. Let them come. Let them get close. Then light them up. We watched through the windows. DeLuca's people advancing. Confident. Expecting easy targets. Finding an empty mansion. They reached the front door. Marco gave the order. Now. Hell erupted. Every window exploded with gunfire. The attackers scattered but had nowhere to go. We'd funneled them into a kill zone. Some went down immediately. Others retreated back toward the gates, where Luca's team was waiting. Caught between two firing lines, DeLuca's people were torn apart. It was brutal. Efficient. Exactly what we'd planned. But DeLuca wasn't stupid. He'd sent his people first. A probe. Testing our defenses. Now he knew we were ready. The real assault came from three sides simultaneously. North, south, and west. Coordinated. Professional. These weren't street thugs. These were trained soldiers. They're breaching south entrance, someone shouted through comms. North entrance down. West wing compromised. The plan was falling apart. We were being overwhelmed. Too many attackers. Not enough defenders. Fall back to second floor. Marco ordered. Controlled retreat. Don't let them split us up. We moved up the stairs. Fighting the whole way. I'd never fired my gun until tonight. Now I couldn't seem to stop. Point and shoot. Point and shoot. Don't think. Just survive. Someone went down beside me. One of the guards. Young guy whose name I never learned. Dead before he hit the ground. Adriana pulled me behind cover. Stay with me. Don't stop moving. We reached the second floor. Marco's team had established a defensive line, holding the stairs, keeping DeLuca's people from advancing. But we were trapped. Pinned down. Running out of ammunition and options. Then I heard it. Through the chaos and gunfire. A sound that didn't belong. Sirens. Police sirens. Dozens of them. Getting closer. Who called the cops? Marco shouted. Nobody answered. Because nobody had. The gunfire slowed. Stopped. DeLuca's people retreating. Fleeing before the police arrived. We'd survived. Barely. The police surrounded the property. SWAT teams. Negotiators. The works. Someone had called in a report of a small war happening at this address. Which was accurate. Boss, Sophia said quietly. We're going to have a problem. They're going to search. They're going to find weapons. Bodies. Evidence of everything. Adriana's face was calm. Then we give them something else to find. She walked to the front door. Opened it. Hands raised. Blood on her clothes. Looking like a victim. Thank God you're here, she called to the police. They tried to kill us. Home invasion. Multiple attackers. We barely survived. The police moved in cautiously. Secured the scene. Found the bodies of DeLuca's people outside. Our people's bodies were already being quietly moved to less visible locations. The weapons hidden. The evidence sanitized. We gave statements. Told a story that was technically true. We were attacked. We defended ourselves. We're victims. Not criminals. The police didn't buy it. Not completely. But they couldn't prove anything different. Rich people in a big house defending against home invaders. Tragic but legal. They left at dawn with warnings and suspicion and promises to investigate further. But we'd survived. We'd actually survived. I found Adriana in her office. She looked exhausted. Defeated despite the victory. 12 dead, she said. 12 of our people. Gone. DeLuca lost at least 30. That doesn't bring ours back. I sat beside her. No, it doesn't. But we're alive. That counts for something. This war isn't over. DeLuca retreated, but he's not finished. He'll regroup. Come at us different. Smarter. Then we'll be ready. She looked at me. We? You're still staying? After tonight? After seeing what this life really is. I saw what it was the first night. I stayed anyway. Tonight doesn't change that. You're insane. Probably. But I'm your insane. She pulled me close. Held on like I was the only real thing in a world of violence and chaos. I love you, she whispered. I know I shouldn't. I know it's dangerous and stupid and will probably get us both killed. But I love you. My heart did something complicated. I love you too. Even though you're terrifying and have terrible enemies and definitely bad for my life expectancy. She laughed through tears. We're a disaster. The best kind. We stayed like that until Marco knocked. Boss, you need to see this. We followed him to the security center. He pulled up news footage. Breaking news. Vincenzo De Luca arrested. Multiple charges. Murder. Racketeering. Trafficking. They'd found evidence at several of his properties. Somehow, mysteriously, anonymously tipped off. Adriana breathed. She turned him in. Marco nodded. And it's not just De Luca. 3 of his top people also arrested. His entire operation is collapsing. Why would Isabella do this? Because she's your friend, I said. And friends don't let friends fight unnecessary wars when there's a smarter solution. Adriana pulled out her phone. Called Isabella. Before you yell at me, Isabella answered. Yes, I called in the cops. Yes, I provided the evidence. And no, I don't regret it. De Luca was going to get you killed. This way he's in prison and you're alive. You're welcome. I could have handled it. You were handling it. By getting shot at. This was cleaner. Besides, now you owe me. I'll collect eventually. They talked for a few more minutes. When Adriana hung up, she actually smiled. She's right. This was cleaner. And De Luca in prison is better than De Luca dead. No martyrs. No revenge plots. Just bureaucracy and justice. So it's over? This part is. There will be other threats. Other rivals. This life doesn't have happy endings. Maybe not. But it can have happy middles. She pulled me close. I like the sound of that. The next few weeks were strange. Quiet. We rebuilt. Mourned the dead. Strengthened defenses. Prepared for the next threat. But mostly, we just existed. Together. I kept training with Marco. Got slightly less terrible at fighting. Developed something resembling actual skills. I'd never be a great bodyguard. But I was becoming a decent one. More importantly, I was becoming hers. We fell into a routine. Days of work and security and managing the empire. Nights of movies and books and conversations that lasted until sunrise. Learning each other. Building something real in the spaces between violence. Charlie visited once. Saw the mansion. Met Adriana. Had a small crisis about my life choices. You know this is crazy, right? She said as we walked the gardens. Completely. And you're happy? I thought about it. Really thought. Yeah, I am. Scared constantly. Aware I could die any moment. But happy. She sees me. Really sees me. Not the anxious mess or the fake credentials or the disaster. Just me. And she loves me anyway. Then I'm happy for you. Terrified. But happy. That's fair. 3 months after the war ended, Adriana called a family meeting. Everyone gathered in the conference room, curious and slightly nervous. I'm making some changes, she announced. This organization has operated on violence and fear for 3 generations. That ends now. We're going legitimate. Real estate. Hospitality. Legal shipping. The old businesses get phased out or handed over to people who want them. We're going clean. The room erupted. Shock. Anger. Confusion. Boss, Carmine said. This is who we are. What we are. You can't just walk away from the family business. I'm not walking away. I'm evolving. My father built this empire on blood. I'm going to transform it into something that doesn't require constant war. Something that lasts. Something I'm proud of. The other families won't allow it. The other families are watching what happened to De Luca. They know we survived a war and came out stronger. They'll adapt or they'll fall. Either way, we're changing. It was revolutionary. Dangerous. Possibly impossible. But it was also hopeful. A chance at something better. One by one, people agreed. Some enthusiastically. Some reluctantly. But they agreed. That night, Adriana and I stood on her balcony overlooking the city. You know this might not work, she said. Going legitimate. Changing everything. It might all fall apart. Might. But it might not. And isn't the possibility worth the risk? When did you become the optimist? When I fell in love with someone who made me believe impossible things were possible. She kissed me. Soft and sweet and full of promise. I have a question, she said. Okay. Move in with me. Officially. Not as my bodyguard. As my partner. My girlfriend. Whatever label you want. Just be with me. Really be with me. My heart exploded. Yes. Obviously yes. Did you think I'd say no? You might want a normal life. A safe life. Something that doesn't involve former mob bosses and complicated family dynamics. I don't want normal. I want this. You. Us. All of it. We stood there holding each other as the sun set over the city. The city that had tried to kill us. That we'd survive together. That we'd maybe, possibly, help make better. 6 months later, I officially moved in. Not to the bodyguard room. To her room. Our room. Charlie helped me pack my old apartment. The place that had been the site of so many disasters. I can't believe this is real, she said. You went from condiment packet dinners to literal mansion living. I know. It's surreal. Are you sure about this? About her? About this life? I looked at the eviction notice still taped to my door. The apartment that represented every failure and struggle. Then thought about Adriana. About morning coffee together. About late-night conversations. About building something real. I've never been more sure of anything. Then I'm happy for you. My disaster best friend who accidentally fell into a crime family and somehow made it work. That's me. Professional disaster. Now with better healthcare. The transition to legitimate business was slow. Difficult. But it happened. Adriana was ruthless about it. People who couldn't adapt were let go with generous severance. Old operations were sold or shut down. New ventures were started. It wasn't perfect. There were still threats. Still violence sometimes. Still the weight of the past. But it was better. Different. Moving toward something resembling normal. Marco stayed as head of security. Sophia transitioned to CFO of the legitimate enterprises. Luca became head of the real estate division. Tommy sent Christmas cards from his new life with his sister. And I stayed as Adriana's partner. Sometimes bodyguard when necessary. Mostly just the person who made her laugh and kept her grounded and reminded her that life could be more than just survival. 1 year after that first interview, we celebrated. Private dinner. Just us. To the worst bodyguard I ever hired, Adriana toasted. To the scariest boss I never qualified to work for. We drank expensive wine that definitely wasn't poisoned. Ate food I didn't have to steal. Sat in a home that felt safe. Do you miss it? She asked. Your old life. The poverty and fear and raccoon battles? Not even a little. No, I mean, being normal. Having a simple life. My life was never simple. Just poor. This is complicated, but it's mine. Ours. That makes it perfect. She took my hand. I have something for you. She pulled out a small box. Inside was a key. Actual physical key. It's to the library. The one where my father died. I've kept it locked since then. Couldn't bear to go in. But I want you to have it. Want us to make new memories there. Replace the bad ones with good ones. I was crying. That's the most meaningful gift anyone's ever given me. You gave me hope. That this life could be different. That I could be different. This is just a key. It's everything. We went to the library together. Opened it for the first time in years. It was exactly as she'd left it. Books. Leather chairs. The fireplace. And now it was ours. A place to read and talk and build new memories that weren't soaked in violence. We spent that night there. Reading to each other. Making love on the couch. Falling asleep tangled together as the fire died down. 2 years after I answered that job posting, Adriana proposed. Properly proposed. Down on one knee in that library. I know we can't legally marry in most places because of my past. I know this life is complicated and dangerous and probably shouldn't be anyone's first choice. But you're my first choice. My only choice. Will you marry me anyway? In whatever way we can. I was sobbing. Yes. Obviously. How's that even a question? We had a private ceremony. Just family. Marco and Sophia and Luca and Maria and Isabella and Vincent. Charlie flew in and cried through the whole thing. No legal documents. No official recognition. Just promises made in front of people who mattered. I promise to protect you even though I'm bad at it, I said. I promise to let you try even though you're bad at it, she replied. Everyone laughed. We kissed. And somehow, impossibly, my disaster life had led to this perfect moment. We still had problems. Still had threats. Still lived in a world that wasn't entirely safe. But we had each other. And a family built on choice rather than blood. And the possibility that tomorrow could be better than today. 3 years after that first interview, Adriana officially retired from all remaining criminal enterprises. Handed over the last questionable businesses to people who wanted them. Became completely, totally, boringly legitimate. The other families thought she was weak. Until her legal businesses started making more money than their illegal ones. Then they started calling her smart. 5 years later, we adopted a dog. A massive, anxious rescue who was afraid of everything. He fit right in with us disasters. 7 years later, we bought a second house. Smaller. Quieter. By the ocean. A place to escape when the city got too loud. 10 years later, I was still technically her bodyguard. Though mostly I managed her schedule and made sure she ate lunch and occasionally saved her from death by overwork rather than assassination. We never had the perfect ending. There's no such thing in this life. But we had our ending. Our middle. Our continuation. I was Maya Brooks. Former fake bodyguard. Current disaster wife of a former mob boss. Living a life I never planned. Never imagined. Never deserved. And it was perfect. Absolutely perfect. Make sure you're subscribed because you never know when life throws you exactly where you need to be, even if getting there involves poison wine, assassination attempts, and accidentally falling in love with the most dangerous woman you've ever met. Comment below if you've ever taken a job you weren't qualified for and somehow made it work. And hit that like button if you believe that sometimes the best things in life come from the worst decisions. And if you believe that sometimes the worst decisions lead to the best lives, hit that like button and stay with me for the next story. This is Maya, signing off from my improbable life. Stay anxious, friends. Sometimes it saves your life. The end.